Hello and welcome. Today we're going to talk a little bit about meditation. A lot of people have misconceived notions about what meditation is, what it entails, and I think a lot of people tend to try too hard to focus on one thing or focus on nothing, which is really actually impossible to think about nothing. The idea of meditation is just simply to be. It's not to think about nothing, it's more to think about nothing in particular, or not to overanalyze or think about your thoughts. So what you want to do is observe your thoughts, observe your feelings, observe the sounds around you like they are passing clouds. So you recognize them, you hold them, but you don't analyze them. You don't think about why you're feeling them, why you're hearing them, or anything like that. And then you let them pass, let them flow along. And the reason you have a mantra or use a mantra is to bring you back to center, refocus your mind. If you do start to do things like planning, thinking about lunch, thinking about what you're going to do next, worrying about things in the future, or fretting about things that have already happened, because the idea also of meditation is just to be completely in the moment. It's the one time out of your day that you can take to just 100% exist in the here and now, without worrying about the past and the future that don't exist anyway. It's just being right here and focusing on your breath. Now, in an earlier video, I talked about deep breathing. So if you want to check that out, that would probably be a good idea as well, so that you know how to do the deep breaths into your diaphragm and not the chest breathing. And if you don't have a mantra, you can always just use Om or anything you'd like. You keep it silent, so you'll say it maybe 3 times throughout a 20-minute meditation session. I don't think we'll go quite that long today, but what you want to do is you just find a comfortable place to sit. You want to sit with your back straight. Legs don't have to be crossed, but it's generally the most comfortable way. If you have a meditation stool, you can also sit around it like that. And then hand placement. So there are a couple of mudras that are the most frequently used. I always tend to do this one. So you just take your thumb and your forefinger together and your 3 other fingers straight and place them palms up on your knees. That's probably the most classic thing you've seen, especially in Hinduism. You probably have seen that a lot on statues and things of that nature. And that basically, your thumb symbolizes the ultimate or the universal knowledge and life force, and your forefinger represents your own individual spirit and life force. And so bringing them together, you're uniting them. If you allow your thumb to go slightly over your index finger, you're basically submitting the individual life to the universal. And then the other one you'll see a lot, especially in Buddhism and depictions of the Buddha meditating, is putting your 2 hands together in your lap, the right palm or the right hand on top of the left palm, and that basically symbolizes enlightenment over unenlightenment. And so whichever one is most comfortable for you, or whichever kind of appeals to you more. This one, a lot of people like for the sort of grounding influence, brings you calmness and a sense of being and interconnectedness. I mean, I feel like either one, it brings you the same amount of relaxation and connectedness, but if you have an interest in one or the other, or feel free to look up what all the different mudras mean. It's an interesting thing to look into. I personally don't look too much into it. It's just, for me, this tends to be more comfortable than sitting like that, but up to you. Whatever brings you the most comfort, as long as you're basically sitting back straight, legs comfortable, and arms either here or anywhere else. You want your palms to be up. That's just sort of opening your mind up, opening your soul up, bringing the energy into your body and into yourself. So with that in mind, and if you if you are concerned about your mind wandering too much and you're not comfortable with that idea and you feel like it'll go into just a spiral of thoughts, you can always focus on an object in your mind. You know, the famous story of the Buddha and the lotus flower. I like to, when I was first starting meditating, I would always just envision a waterfall because I love being in nature, and that's one of my favorite natural elements is a waterfall. And you can also, with that, you know, you can call to mind the sound of running water, which is also very calming. So whatever works for you, something that brings you calmness and helps to keep other thoughts at bay, just try to focus on that. But the ideal thing for you to do is just not focus on anything. Just sit, just breathe. The only thing you should be focusing on is your breath. And again, when you hear sounds, feel sensations, feel hungry, feel a bit of pain, whatever, you just observe those thoughts like a passing cloud and let it go. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and close our eyes, get situated however you would like. And if you want to go ahead and start off just saying your mantra in your mind or focusing on an image just to get yourself into that comfort state. We're going to go ahead and do a full body scan. So starting from the top of your head, just relax your forehead, relax your eyebrows, your eyes, if there's any tension around the eyes, the nose, your mouth. Relax the jaw. If you tend to clench your teeth, just bring awareness to that and unclench. And let your shoulders go soft. Shouldn't be any tension in your chest. Relax the torso, the legs, knees, feet. Just breathe. And if you start to notice any discomfort in your body, any sensations like pain in the back, or perhaps your legs or your feet are starting to tingle, try to just sit with it, acknowledge it, and let it pass. Just remember that it, like everything else, is an ephemeral part of life, and it will soon go. Just continue to breathe. Focus on your breathing. Forget about yesterday, forget about tomorrow, forget about this morning and tonight. All that exists is right now, and you have no obligations in this moment. All you need to do is sit and breathe and exist. open your eyes. Come slowly back to the world around you. Take a moment to just look around, reacclimate yourself to your surroundings. Stretch your limbs if you need to, shake out your legs. And go ahead to bring your hands to heart center. Namaste. All right, well, I hope you liked your first meditation session, if it was your first, and if not, I hope you enjoyed this session anyway. I really like to do that just before going into yoga. It's a really nice way to bring yourself into that mindful state. And then if you're like me, you do want to immediately do some stretching because it can be kind of taxing on the back. Yeah, that's a great way to just bring your stress levels down, ground yourself in the present moment. It's especially helpful for people like me who have a lot of anxiety, who are easily stressed out by things that are happening in your personal life and in the world. When there's a lot of shifting sand in life, it really does help to ground yourself and to remind yourself that life is change, and as difficult as it is to accept, none of us is really in control. And it's hard when you think about that and you kind of can spiral into doom and gloom thoughts. But with meditation, I really find just those deep breaths and centering yourself in the present moment. And as part of Buddhism anyway, is just accepting the fact that life is impermanent, everything is impermanent, and we are not special in any sort of way. We're just part of this one big cosmic whole. And so, enjoy the present as you can. None of us is guaranteed anything else, but there's no use fretting about the future because it doesn't exist. Nothing exists except for this moment. Not to get too into that kind of thing, but if that is something you're interested in, it's definitely worth thinking about. It's certainly brought me a lot of calmness and a lot of serenity in my life that the Catholicism I was raised in never really did. But that's a different matter for a different time. I just hope you had a good meditation session. Thank you for joining me, and I hope to see you soon.